All masters go back to the basics all the time. And they always say, hey, what's the simplest form of what I'm doing? And let me practice that over and over again. So today, we're gonna show you that no matter how hard you work, if you feel like, hey, things could be better, they easily can be, as long as you're willing to look at the patterns, not the problems. Once you see that pattern today, you'll know what to do by changing just one thing.
Just one. Everything about how money feels in your life changes. Not because you earn more, not because you find a better investment, because you change the order. How many of you want more money? Of course. But what if money isn't the real problem? What if the gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't income, it's a system? And most people don't even know they're living inside of one. And this was me, maxing out retirement, saving what was left, doing everything what I thought was the right way, and still feeling tight. I just felt it in my chest, still feeling worried. And we built a company from 0 to 4 million during the pandemic. On paper, ascending, but in reality, working 15 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, living away from my family, making much less than I had before. Then I found myself at a mastermind in Mawa, going through a future self exercise with the leader asking us, getting us pumped up. Imagine you have everything: money, impact, freedom. Who have you become? And I broke, not a quiet tear. I broke down in that room because I realized I wasn't becoming who I thought I was. I felt like I was failing my wife, my boys, myself, most importantly, God. Not because I wasn't working hard, because I was still living inside of someone else's system. That weekend stripped my excuses, stripped me bare. And when I got home, for the first time, I said out loud in reflection, I don't have a financial philosophy. I have habits, I have discipline, but I have zero clarity. So instead of working harder, I asked for help. My mentor handed me a book. No explanation, just read this. And that night, I read the whole thing, front to back. And when I finished, I wasn't excited. I was pissed. Why didn't anyone show me this? I read it the next day. I called him up and I said, Rep, what the fuck, man? Why didn't you tell me this sooner? He just laughed, his raspy laugh, and he said, Sip, you weren't ready. He was right. And what I discovered, what changed everything, was a system that's been used by banks and wealthy families for over 100 years. A system built on one principle: whoever controls the flow of money wins. That question, who benefits from this system, changed everything. Look at this statistic. This is from the Social Security Administration. Not a blog, not an opinion, the government's own data. 5 out of 100 will be financially secure at retirement age. Think about that room. Think about yourself. 100 people, all working hard, all doing what they're told, doing the right things. 95 of them don't make it. So the question I had to ask myself, and I want you to ask right now, if the system works so well, why aren't more people winning? And more importantly, who benefits most from the system the way it's designed? And that question, that idea changed everything for me. And it's exactly what led me to show you what I'm about to show you. Here's the one big thing, the one thing I need you to walk away with. There's a vehicle, a specific financial system that lets your money grow, stay accessible, be used, and continue compounding, all at the same time. Not one or the other, all four. And it's been used by banks, corporations, and the wealthiest families for over 100 years. If that's true, and I'm going to prove it is, then everything you thought you knew about where your money should live changes. That's the domino. You knock that over and the rest falls. Before I show you the system, I need to shift 3 beliefs. Today, I'm going to show you 3 things. Secret number 1, there is a vehicle that keeps your money working while you use it. Secret number two, you can start this exactly where you are today. Secret three, the timing is right for you right now. Let's start with the first secret. Here's a question almost no one asks. Where does your money live first? Not where it ends up, not where it gets spent. Where does it live? Most people, money comes in, money goes out, it hits their banks, and immediately, poof, it's gone. That's not a financial system. That's a pass-through account. What I discovered was that there's a place where your money can grow guaranteed, stay accessible, be used, and keep compounding at the same time. It sounds crazy. Again, it's been used and around for over 100 years, used by those that know about it. And almost no one has ever shown it to you. And it's nothing more than a dividend-paying whole life policy from a mutually owned company. A mutually owned company that's been profitable for well over 100 consecutive years. Before your brain goes, I've heard of life insurance, Jason. Let me show you what we're not talking about. We're not talking about term, no ULs, IULs, VULs. We're talking about the one type that gives you control, guarantees, and liquidity, transfers the risk. And let me show you what's happening with your money right now. I'm going to pick Johnny. So Johnny, you're going to be my depositor today. Johnny deposits $100,000 into my bank. We're an awesome bank. We pay Johnny 4%. He feels good, safe, responsible. And here's what we do with Johnny's money. A mortgage, 7%. A kitchen remodel or a car, 8%. A kitchen remodel, 9%. Debt consolidation, 12%. Add those up. 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 12 equals 36. We're paying Johnny 4. We're earning multiples of that using his money. So the real question is, who benefits from the flow of your money? Is it you or is it the system? What if instead of being Johnny, you became the bank? And I want you to be able to go check this. So if you want to write this down, go to Bauer Financial and pull up any bank that you work with, and you'll see on an annual basis, there isn't a bank that's making less than 400% on your money, minimum. Again, crazy. And after seeing one of these talks, a chiropractor walks over to our table and he says, guys, can you help me? And we look up from the table. We said, we don't know. It depends. Let me ask you a question. How much are you saving? 25 grand a year. Amazing. It's amazing. Where are you saving it? A qualified plan. Well, what's the problem you're trying to solve? Debt. I feel like I'm doing pretty well, but I can't seem to get ahead. Every time I start getting a little extra cash flow, something happens. Another credit card, another home improvement card. So we said, okay, let's look at what you have together. This was his scenario. $478,000 in debt, including 2 properties. Success by a lot of measures. $5,777 a month going out the door. Nearly $70,000 a year. And the common path, the one the system teaches you, would have taken him 26 years to pay that off. 26 years. And he would have paid over $316,000 of interest paid to banks, not to his family. That was his future before we changed one thing. So we redirected his money. Year 2, same deposit, $25,000 into his policy. Cash back or cash value back, $14,863. Pays off the Discover card, pays off Lowe's. And what happens? That money's not new money. It flows back to his family instead of going to Discover and Lowe's. He changed one thing, folks. 2 debts gone. Year 2, same thing. 25 grand in, cash value goes up to $16,571. Payments back to himself, $5,300 in change. Gives him $21,000 in change in cash. Pays off Nordstrom, Wells Fargo, the private loan. And it's only year 2. Now he's recaptured an extra $1,500 a month, over $1,900 a month now flowing back to his family instead of going to someone else's. Year 3, he hits what we call an efficiency point. 25 grand in, and this year the cash value exceeds the deposit by the end of the year, $25,541. Payments back to himself, $23,000. He pays off the Beamer, he pays off the boat. We're only 3 years in, and he's recaptured $3,677 a month. Think about that. He was losing $5,777 a month 2 years earlier. He's already recaptured 3,600 of it. And remember, how many things do we change? One thing. One. Year 4, money goes in, again, the money goes up, and he pays down the condo. Not much exciting happens in year 4, right? Just the balance goes down in the condo. Year 5, same money goes in that he was putting into his qualified plan. Cash value goes up again, payments back to himself, pays off the condo. And look, we're 5 years in. We started with a ton of debt leaving, and now we're 5 years in. He's got one remaining debt. So we get to year 6, and something interesting happens. He now has more cash value coming back each year that he can't put in to one policy. So he starts a second policy. $10,000 in the original policy, $25,000 into his additional warehouse, the new one, $35,000 going into the system, total cash value a little over $27,000, payments back to himself, enough to pay off the home. 6 years instead of 26. Again, that's wild.
Make sure you're smashing, liking, subscribing to spread this message, to take this out to more people, to make sure that they can shift their patterns by changing that one thing. Make sure you're helping spread this message if you're enjoying the content.
Now, let me show you something. When we first started doing this, after someone heard the story of this actual chiropractor we worked with, the question was always the same. You might be thinking the same thing right now. How do I know what that looks like for me? So we built a tool, the Vault. This is a software that does the math, not generic math, not a textbook example, your numbers, your life, your path. So we're going to go through this a little quickly, but look at this path. Let me show you what we built for him. Don't try to understand every number. I just want you to look at the pattern. Keep it simple. On the left side, this is what he was already doing. 312 months, 26 years, $316,000 plus in interest paid to everyone else. Money flowing out. No system, just discipline pointed in the wrong direction. I like to call this the no plan plan. And then if you look in the middle, the green column, we improve it with math. We run 3 calculations, debt snowball, debt avalanche, cash flow index, and we look which one will save you the most. Better cash flow, less interest, faster payoff. Down to about 107 months. That's a lot of improvement. But here's what's still true. Once the money is used, it's gone. No cash value, no death benefit, no machine working in the background. Now, the right side, same income, not working harder, same dollars, one change. Where the money goes first. His system, 73 months, not 312, not 107. $90,224 in interest paid to others, down from over $300,000. That's over 2/3, $225,856 to be exact, in interest recaptured back to his family, not the banks. Cash value, $215,682. Growing, accessible, his. And then there's this number at the bottom, $977,872. That's the cherry on top. That's the death benefit from day one. Before the debt is paid off, before the policy matures, before anything is complete, if something happens to him tomorrow, his family, his business partners, they don't get a balance of the savings account. They get nearly $1 million tax-free. And that number didn't cost him anything extra. It came with the machine, with his plan. So look at what just happened. We didn't eliminate interest. We redirected it. It was going out, came back. And really, when you see it laid out like this, there's only the 3 paths. The path 1, do nothing, stay in the current system, pay the system. Play their game. Path two, use math. Smarter strategy, less interest, faster payoff. Still no machine. Path three, change one thing. Take the control, build your own system, name your system, and for the first time, see all three side by side with your numbers before you ever make a decision. Now, at this point, most people have a lot of questions. So I want to hit them directly. And the first question, the one I get the most, is why would I pay interest to borrow my own money? That's a reasonable question because you're not paying for access to money. You're paying to keep your money working. The alternative, you use your money and it stops. This keeps it moving. And money, remember, has to stay in motion. The second one, I thought the same thing. The night I read this book, thought the same thing because we've been conditioned to think this doesn't exist until I realized something. Banks have been doing this forever. They store money, they keep it growing, and they lend against it. We're just doing what they do with our own money. The last one, I've helped people get started. Is it too late for me? I've helped people get started at 75. A few. So no, it's not too late. The question was never, is it too late? The question is, do you want to keep doing what you've been doing? Because the moment you decide, the moment you change direction, everything, and I mean everything, starts to shift. So if you're still here and this is making sense to you, here's what I want you to do. I want to give you what the chiropractor got. Not a version of it, not a watered down summary, the exact same thing. 3 things, completely free, no catch, no pitch at the end of the call for my coaching. Here's what I mean by that. Number 1, your vault analysis. This is the software you just saw on the screen a few slides ago. We take your actual numbers, your income, your debt, your monthly payments, as long as you weigh in, and we build your version of that comparison. Your 312 months versus your 73 months. Your interest recaptured, your death benefit from day one. And it's not a generic example. It's not cookie cutter. They're specially engineered. Your life, your numbers, your system. This takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to build personally. And I build every single one of these myself. 4,000 calls. And here's something I want you to understand. When we first started doing this, you had to wait. We have the call, you get approved, we get your numbers, you get your policy enforced, your specially engineered policy. And only after you had the machine could you see your full plan. Again, you'd have to wait until you could see your full plan until you were all the way through the process. Now we want to show you, because that bothered me, that bothered our team. We thought we could do better because you were making a decision before you could see the outcome. And that made you feel uncomfortable. You had to have a lot of faith to go through it this way. So we changed it. Now you get to see your full picture after the very first call. Remember, 3 paths, side by side. Your numbers, your life, your outcome. Path 1, stay exactly where you're at. And I have no attachment to that. It hurts me, but it's the current plan. The one that the system gave you, the one that you were born into, and you know exactly what it costs you. You'll see it on the screen. In time, in interest, in control. Path 2, use math. No IBC needed. No policy. Just a smarter strategy applied to what you've already have. Faster payoff, less interest, still no machine. The third path, change one thing. Build your own machine. Name it and watch what happens to the numbers. You get to see all 3 before you make any decision. And that's not how most financial conversations work. Most of the time, someone's already decided what product you need and what it looks like before you walk into the room. Instead, we meet you where you're at, we listen, we find out what's important, and we show you how you can have your own plan and where you're going to be in 3, 5, 10 years. And we show you the math. Then you make the call, always. The second thing, number 2, your custom policy illustration. And this only gets built if the third path makes sense for you. We don't build a machine for someone who doesn't need it. If path two gets you where you want to go, and that's the right answer, cool. I'll tell you that. Sometimes that is the path you need to take first. But if path three is your path, if the numbers say build the machine, then I build your specially engineered policy for you and you see it custom, built exactly around what you can actually do right now. You'll know what the minimum that you have to put in is to keep it alive, what you're trying to do to solve your problem, not what's ideal, not a big round number that I just pull out of a hat, what works for your life today that follows the laws of wealth. So you can see exactly what your machine looks like before you ever make a single decision. No rush, no pressure, on your time. Third, the 45-minute strategy call with me. It's not an assistant. Many of you have already had this call. It's not someone reading from a script. It's me. We sit down, we learn about each other, we see what's happening in your life. We walk through your three paths, we look at your numbers, and you decide. I answer your questions so you have full clarity, whether this is right for you or not. There's never any pressure. There's no pitch. I used to think this was for everyone, and I've learned that it's not. So now I know if path three fits, amazing. We talk about next steps. If path two is smarter, that's cool too. Either way, you walk away knowing exactly where your money is going and what it's costing you. That's still valuable. That's still a win. Now, I'm going to be straight with you because that's how I operate. I'll actually ask you in the call if I can be direct with you, if I can tell you the truth. Because after 4,000 calls, I realized I build personally the vault analysis every time. I personally run every strategy call. I don't hand this off to someone else. One day it won't be like this, but right now my calendar has a real ceiling. Between running the business, training, educating, putting out content, and spending time with my boys, I have room for about 15 calls a week on a good week. And that's not a marketing number. That's just my week. That's my calendar. It's right here. And some weeks I have a few open spots. Some weeks I'm booked out 2 weeks. Some weeks I'm fully open. Tonight, I looked at my numbers earlier. My next 2 weeks, I have about 17 calls available. That's it. First come, first served. There's not extra time. So if something I said to you tonight makes sense, if something in you recognizes that you've been last in line for your money and you're tired of it, you're tired of being stressed, you're tired of being worried, you're tired of life feeling heavy, and you're like, going on long enough. Here's all I'm asking you to do. At the end, scan the QR code on the screen. Pick the time that works for you, lock in your spot, and I'll build your vault analysis before, well, if you give me your numbers, I'll be able to do the vault analysis before we even get on the call. If not, we'll do it together. And when we sit down together, again, you're not looking at something generic. You're looking at my time, my energy, my expertise, sitting down with you to meet you where you're at. You're looking at your life, not mine, because here's the truth. In 10 years, one of two things is going to be true. Either you started this system and it's been working quietly for a decade. Your cash value is growing, compounding. Your debt has shrunk or went away completely. Your family completely protected. And you feel different energetically, emotionally, or you're exactly where you are right now, still giving your first dollar to everyone else, last in line for your money. The system, it still keeps running either way. The question is, whose system are you in? And at the end, there's only one of two things that happens to all of us. We're either going to continue living, and we need to know, are we better off with or without the system in place? Or someday we're going to die. We're going to graduate. Are we better off with or without this? Either way, the answer is the same. So if something in you is saying, this is what I've been missing, don't overthink it. Scan the QR code, book your call, see your numbers, because at the end of the day, you don't have a money problem. You have a control problem. And that's exactly what we fix. Amazing, Seth. That's amazing. Looking forward to connecting with you. As always, you're all amazing. I'm so appreciative of your time. I don't take it lightly. It's the most valuable resource we have. It's the one that's truly priceless. And Seth, I'm looking forward to meeting you, to helping you. Anyone else that's booked their call, the same thing. Meet you where you're at and show you where you're going. Remember, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming in the near future. We've got some back to the basics moments to try to give you more clarity and answer the questions that you know you have, but maybe you haven't asked yet. And we're going to show you other people's stories and some other things that are where this journey goes when you change the system you're in, because there's always going to be new tools and new things you're going to need. So anyhow, again, be blessed. Thank you for your time, for your energy. Super excited, and I'll see you guys next week.